Let me ask you something strange. Have you ever earned more money than you did a few years ago, and somehow felt just as broke, maybe even more stressed? You got the raise you wanted, the bigger paycheck, the promotion you worked so hard for. And yet, at the end of the month, there's still nothing left. The bank account still feels tight, and you quietly wonder, wasn't more money supposed to fix this? If that's ever happened to you, I promise you're not crazy, and you're definitely not alone. There's a name for exactly what's happening, and once you see it, you'll never unsee it again. It's called lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the quietest, sneakiest traps in all of personal finance. Here's the simple version. As your income goes up, your spending quietly goes up right along with it. A little nicer apartment, a slightly better car, nicer clothes, nicer food, nicer everything. None of it feels reckless. None of it feels like a mistake. Each single step feels completely reasonable. And that's exactly why it's so dangerous. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Sam. When Sam got his first real job, he earned just enough to cover the basics. Rent, food, bus fare, and a little left over. It was tight, but he made it work. A few years later, Sam was earning almost double. Double. And you'd think, naturally, that he'd have money pouring out of his pockets by now, right? But here's the strange part. Sam felt exactly as broke as he did on day one. Maybe even more anxious about money than before. Same stress, same empty feeling at the end of the month, just with a bigger salary attached to it. So what actually happened? Well, when Sam's income went up, his life quietly expanded to match it. The small apartment became a bigger one, the bus became a car, the car came with insurance and fuel and payments. Cooking at home slowly turned into ordering out, and little by little, without a single dramatic moment, his expenses climbed right up to meet his income and then just sat there side by side. He was earning more, he was keeping exactly the same, nothing. There's actually a psychological reason this happens so consistently, and it's not unique to Sam at all. Psychologists call it hedonic adaptation. Basically, humans are remarkably good at adjusting to new circumstances, and then treating that new circumstance as the normal, boring baseline. The first time you ride in a nicer car, it feels incredible. By the third month, it's just your car. The excitement fades, but the cost never does. Your brain quietly resets what normal feels like, and then it starts looking for the next thing to feel excited about. This is why chasing a bigger income alone, without understanding this pattern, can genuinely trap you on a treadmill you never agreed to run on. I used to believe that the answer to money stress was always just more money. Earn more, and the stress disappears, right? That was the whole plan. And then I earned more, and the stress, it just came right back. Wearing new clothes, same weight, new shape. That's the moment I finally understood something that changed how I saw all of this. The problem was never only how much I earned, it was how quickly my spending chased it. Here's the part that makes lifestyle inflation so tricky. Every single upgrade on its own makes perfect sense. You tell yourself, I work hard, I deserve a nicer coffee, I deserve the better phone, I earned this comfort. And you know what? You're not wrong. You do work hard. There's nothing shameful about wanting nice things. But here's the quiet trap hiding inside all of it. Each upgrade doesn't just cost money once, it resets your normal. It becomes the new baseline, the new floor you never drop below again. Think about it like this. Imagine your comfort level is a room. Every time you upgrade something, you push the walls of that room a little further out. Bigger space, more stuff to fill it. And here's the thing about a bigger room, it costs more to heat, more to light, more to maintain forever. You can't easily shrink it back down. Once you've lived in the bigger room, going back to the smaller one feels like losing something, like going backward, and nobody wants to feel like they're going backward. This is the real reason lifestyle inflation is so hard to escape. It's not just about the money, it's about identity. Once you've upgraded, that upgrade becomes part of who you think you are. The nicer car isn't just transport anymore, it's you now. Downgrading doesn't just feel cheaper, it feels like admitting failure. And so most people never go backward. They just keep pushing the walls out, further and further, chasing a feeling of enough that keeps quietly moving away from them. I want to pause here and say something clearly, because I don't want this to sound like I'm blaming anyone for wanting a better life. You're not weak for wanting nice things. You're not undisciplined for enjoying comfort you worked hard for. This isn't a character flaw. It's just biology doing exactly what it evolved to do, adapt, seek more, normalize progress. The problem was never wanting more. The problem is doing it on autopilot, without ever deciding, on purpose, where the line actually is. Now here's a question worth sitting with. If more money doesn't automatically fix money stress, then what actually does? And the answer surprises a lot of people. It's not about earning less. It's not about living miserably or feeling guilty every time you buy something nice. The answer is simply this. Keep some distance between what you earn and what you spend. That distance, that gap, is the entire game. It's not glamorous. Nobody posts about it online. But that quiet gap is where every bit of real financial freedom actually lives. Let me show you how differently this can go. Imagine two people, co-workers even, sitting at desks a few feet apart. Both get the exact same raise on the exact same day for the exact same reason. The first person immediately upgrades everything. New car within the month, bigger apartment by the end of the quarter, new furniture to match. Within a month, that raise has completely vanished into a higher lifestyle. And by the time the next paycheck lands, it already feels normal, expected, spent before it even arrives. The second person handles it differently. They let a little of the raise improve their life, sure, one or two genuine upgrades, because life should feel a little better when you're doing better. But they quietly keep the rest, moved automatically into savings before they ever see it sitting in their checking account. Same income, same starting point, same desk, some days even the same conversations about weekend plans. But 5 years later, these two people are living in two completely different worlds. One is still running just to stay in place, still one unexpected bill away from panic, still waiting for the next raise to finally be the one that fixes everything. The other has real breathing room, real choices, the option to take a lower paying job they'd actually enjoy, the option to take 3 months off if life demanded it, not because they earned more in total, because they let less of what they earned disappear. And here's what I really want you to hear. The second person didn't suffer to get there. That's the myth we get told, that the only way to save is to feel deprived. But they weren't punishing themselves. They just didn't let every single raise instantly disappear into a slightly bigger life. They kept a little back for the future version of themselves. And that future self, one day, that future self gets to relax while everyone else is still sprinting on the same treadmill, wondering why they never seem to catch up. So how do you actually protect yourself from this trap? You don't need anything complicated. You just need one simple habit. The next time your income goes up, before you upgrade a single thing, decide in advance how much of that raise you'll keep. Just decide it first. Maybe you let your lifestyle grow a little. That's completely fine. You should enjoy your progress. But you quietly save a real slice of every raise on purpose before it can disappear on its own. Because money you never let touch your lifestyle, that's money that quietly becomes freedom. There's a phrase I think about often. A raise you never see is a raise you never miss. If you can save part of every increase before it ever reaches your daily life, you won't feel the loss at all. You'll simply keep living the life you were already living, comfortable and fine. And underneath all of it, quietly, in the background, real wealth starts building itself. No suffering required, no dramatic sacrifice, just a small decision made early, again and again. As for Sam, the version of him I told you about earlier eventually noticed the pattern, the same way you might be noticing it right now. And when his next raise came through, he did something different. He let himself upgrade one thing, something that genuinely mattered to him, and quietly automated the rest away before he ever got used to seeing it. 2 years later, for the first time since that very first paycheck, he had breathing room. Not because he suddenly earned some enormous amount, because he finally stopped letting his spending sprint out to meet every dollar the moment it arrived. So let me ask you the question from the very beginning, one more time, but this time with new eyes. Why does more money so often fail to make us feel richer? Now you know. It's not because the money didn't come. It's because our spending quietly ran out to meet it every single time and never let us feel the difference at all. So the next time you get a raise, or a bonus, or any extra money lands in your life, I want you to pause. Just for a second, before it slips quietly into a bigger apartment, or a nicer car, or a life that looks impressive but feels exactly as tight as before, ask yourself one honest question. Am I actually getting ahead here? Or am I just building a more expensive version of the same trap? Because the goal was never to earn more, just to spend more. The goal was to finally feel free, and that feeling, it never came from the bigger life. It always came from the quiet gap you were brave enough to protect.